Folks, I am so excited to bring to you a new light. Okay, no, I'm not. Listen, this is the Molus B200 from Zhiyun. I'm gonna show you how to make it look good with the kit lens that I have on the FX30 right now. I'm gonna use this light, which is another light that Zhiyun sent me, the CM25, and I'm gonna use this light too, the CX100. So let's see how we can actually make something look good with the kit lens. I'm gonna try it on the ZV-E10 too, so stick around. Yep, I think that'll work. I'm using the Sony 16 to 50 millimeter kit lens on the Sony ZV-E10, and I'm gonna show you how to get your picture to go from this to this right here using all of the Zhiyun lights that have been sent to me over the course of time. So the first one we're going to talk about is the key light right here. Now, if you don't know what a key light is, the key light is the main light that is on you. This one's going to typically be the bigger light, the one that's going to be the most powerful, and this is going to give you most of what you're looking at. And that is the Molus B200, a brand new light that just came out, and we're going to get into that a little bit more. This other light is going to be the fill light, which is a light I talked about before on this channel, which is the CM25. Now this little light right here is a really handy light, and it does exactly what it says. It fills in where the key light misses. And then the last one here is going to be the light behind me, which is going to be my kicker light, or you can use it as a hair light. That's the CX100, which I also talked about before in the same review that I did with the CM25. So I'm gonna go through how I'm getting this look right here. Again, we're still using the kit lens. We're using the Sony ZV-E10 all in one. And now for all the people in the comments right now who's typing real fast and your knuckles are probably heating up because you want to hurry up and ask this question, I'm just gonna tell you what the settings are right now that I'm using. As far as the frames per second, 24 frames per second. My shutter speed is 1/50. My aperture is 3.5 and my ISO is at 500. For those that don't speak that language, that's 500. So if you ask me about this in the video, then it tells me that you didn't watch it. So don't ask, just watch the video and your answers will be or your questions will be answered. Now, I'm not shooting in any picture profile, so if you ask me if I'm shooting an S-Log2 or S-Log3, no, I'm just shooting in regular Rec 709 because most people who are using this camera are not going to be shooting in log formats. I may do a video later on that, but this is an 8-bit camera, so we're gonna stick to Rec 709. Real quick, who would use a setup like this? Well, anybody who's starting a YouTube channel. If you're doing a podcast, you're gonna be doing a talking head like this. This is a setup that might benefit you. Now I'm using some unconventional type stuff, like I'm using a shower curtain for diffusion. I'm using some clamps and stuff to hold things together. So this is really a basic setup. I'm not trying to be Peter McKinnon or anybody else and try to get you to get all these things. Ain't nothing wrong with that. I'm just telling you the way I do it and how you can do it and save money. You ain't gotta spend, you don't have to sell your car to get these lights. That's the whole goal of this, is just to have a nice, affordable setup that you can still get quality out of. I wanna go over the settings as far as the light fixtures go. So the B200, which is off to my left, is gonna be your right. The settings are as follows. So the brightness is at 78.1%. Can you see that? So that's not all the way up. That's 78%, obviously. My color temperature is at 5600 Kelvin. Now I have my white balance in the camera also set at 5600 Kelvin. Now this is a trick for people who want to get more colors or different colors out of your camera. You can change your white balance and it will give you a different look based on the white balance in your camera and the difference of the white balance on your light. If that doesn't make sense to you, then watch this video here and I explain how that works. Okay, so that's the settings for that light. Now, my fill light over here, which again is the CM25, is set to about 10%. It's barely up. I mean, maybe 15%. It's also set at 5600K. Now, the thing with this light here is it is not app controlled. So there are dials on it that you can manually control things. That's the only thing that's a little bit of a downside about this light. However, for the price, you cannot be mad at that. But that's where this is. And it's maybe about a foot, maybe 16 inches from me. And the key light is probably about 20 inches from me. And then behind me is the CX100. That is set on maybe like 5%. And it's also set at 5600 Kelvin. And I have a little light dome going over that as well, just to diffuse the light. And then I also have a diffuser going over the CM25, which I'll show you as well. Now, I have this light behind me just kind of bouncing off this background I have behind me, just to give this little, what you're seeing behind me, and to kind of outline my head right here. So basically that's what you want to use, just to make yourself stand out from the background, and you're not blending in with the background. What else do these? All right, so I know a lot of you people are gonna be concerned about the noise of this fan, which is understandable, because when you're doing talking heads and things like that, you don't want a lot of background noise. The fan right now is at 100% because the light is at 100%. I've let it warm up. So this is as loud as it's going to be. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna stop talking here in a second, and we're gonna just listen for the fan noise. And then I'm gonna point, and the light's gonna go off. And no, this is not the app. You can't just point and turn it off. I have someone very important that's gonna be doing it. So let's just listen and see what we hear for a second. So you could probably hear the difference. I don't know if you can still see me, but it doesn't matter. What do you hear? And now we're gonna turn the light back on. So it is pretty loud. I'm not gonna lie to you guys. You know what it sounds like? It sounds like when you get on a plane and you're about to fly somewhere and they start to ramp the jet engines up. That's what it sounds like, but it's not that loud. There you go, you hear it? Oh shoot, I feel like I'm going on a flight. Now, to be honest with you, these lights are not that loud. I mean, yes, you can hear them. And I think sometimes YouTube can blow things out of proportion, and we can start to go, oh man, this light ain't even worth it.
I heard the light. That's the end all.
No, it's not. You're gonna hear stuff because that's just life. Sometimes you may hear a siren in the background, or you may hear something else. I'm gonna say that if you're in a really small room, then you may hear it, but I don't think it's a huge deal. Now, if you're gonna have the light like right here, like resting on your face, then yeah, you're gonna have problems because you're gonna be right by the mic. I have my mic right here, up right here. So one thing I will say is, if you're gonna have a light like this B200, or really any light, and if you wanna practice proper audio, you wanna get yourself something like a shotgun mic that's gonna be closer to you, that's going to have a narrow pickup pattern so that it's rejecting the noise from the sides and behind it. This is the Sennheiser MKE600, and I'll put it in the description below. You know what? Let me just be honest for a second. Y'all ask me the same questions no matter what I review. So let me ask you a question. Do y'all watch the videos all the way through? Because honestly, sometimes I'll post a video and I have a cat in the comments 2 minutes after I posted the video on an 8-minute video asking me questions about the video. Now, I'm not a mathematician. I'm not. I didn't do that well in math, but I'm not ignorant. I know it takes at least 8 minutes to watch an 8-minute video. Is that right? Is a mathematician in the comments that can answer that question? How is it possible that you can watch an 8-minute video in 2 minutes? Even on double speed, that's 4 minutes. So how are you able to do that? Somebody comment below and let me know. So if you haven't picked up your camera by now in 2024 and you've been watching these videos, it might not be no hope for you. I'm here to encourage you, but I'm also here to tell you the truth. And the truth is, you gotta pick up your camera, young man or young lady. Cause I can't do nothing else for you. I can review everything, but if you ain't taking the time to shoot, it ain't gonna matter. I can titillate y'all and I can stimulate y'all with a bunch of B-roll, and I'll do that right now, because you're probably not gonna pick up your camera anyway. So watch my B-roll then, and let my counts and my likes go up. Since you ain't gonna put the time in, at least let me benefit off the time I'm putting in these videos for you guys. Y'all ungrateful. So I got the app right here, and what I'm gonna do is just walk you through how this works. So the demo there that says this set is for preview only, so we're not paying attention to that, but what we are paying attention to is the second one here that I created, which is my YouTube setup set. So when I click that, it's gonna say loading lighting settings and all of that good stuff. Now this here, for some reason, isn't the B200 on the app. It's the Molus Z2_99DC. I don't know if you can change that. Maybe we can. Yes, we can rename that. So if we want to rename that, let's go ahead and just call it the B200. That way it makes more sense and we can identify it easier. Okay, this is the B200. So when we click on it here, actually, let's go back. So we know it's connected to AC power, and here's our settings. Our color temperature is at the top here. Then we have, this is telling us what our color temperature is, which is, I like that. It's a nice little chart to let us see. Then our brightness level here, which we can control. Right around 78 is where it's working best here for the settings that I have on this camera. Color temperature again is at 5600 Kelvin. All right, so at the bottom of this app here, you have your different white balance settings, just like you would on your camera, fluorescent, sunlight, xenon, things like that. So this just makes it really quick and easy to get directly to the color temperature that you want. But in addition to that, you can also dial in the exact color temperature that you wish by sliding the slider here, or you can use the plus and minus, which I like because on a lot of apps, what you'll get sometimes is when you're trying to slide, whether it be your brightness or your color temperature, it's difficult to get it right on the exact color temperature that you want. So these plus and minuses here give you like a more granular control, which I think is great. And the same is true for the brightness. So I will say I give this a thumbs up, as the YouTubers say in the YouTube world. You can also switch over down here to your CTO gels. So this just emulates if you were to put a gel in front of the light. So let's say you put a full CTB, which is a color temperature blue. So it's gonna give you a bluish look. Then you have your CTOs, which is your color temperature orange looks and things like that. So you have options down there. And then you can also use this, which I don't have set up, but basically what that is you can match colors. So you can just take a picture of a color and then the light will reflect whatever color that you pick. So it's basically like a color sampler. One thing I will say about this app is the ratings are really low. So there's only 15 ratings and it's not a lot, and it's got 2 out of 5 stars, so 2.1, which is pretty low in terms of things. Now it says that the app is 4 years old, so I'm not sure if these reviews are based on a long time ago. This one here was a year ago, that's 3 stars. This one was 4 stars, which was April 26th, so that's this year. And then January 22nd, which was this year, 4 stars. So February, 5 stars. So I think what may have happened with this app is they just updated it. They didn't call it a new name, or they didn't change the naming of the app. They just updated it. So all the old reviews that are in there are still driving this low score here. But I would say from what I've witnessed with the app myself, it's a pretty solid app. I don't know why it's getting 1 stars. Maybe it had a lot of problems before. I can look at some of the reviews and see what the problems were and see why it was low. Let's read one. It says, disappointing. The RGB HSI part of the app does not work at all with the Molus X60. So disappointing. So that person was not satisfied. Not working with my phone. This was December 11th. I'm not sure what year this was. I'm not sure why, but this app isn't working on my iPhone 12 Pro. So if that's the 12 Pro, you know this is a little bit old. I registered my account, but there's no Bluetooth connectivity. So just because the iPhone Pro 12 doesn't mean this is an old review. But let's say this was a new iPhone 12, then this review would be old. Keeps disconnecting, not a great experience with this app. The lights are fine, but using this app is brutal. That's pretty bad if it's brutal to use the app. Now listen, people, I understand that we live in a world where we have access to apps and things like that. But the reality of the situation is this. On the back of the light itself, there are controls. So you have your color temperature controls. You also have your brightness control and the power on the back. And really, that's all you need, because what a light is supposed to do is to light up your scene. And yes, the extra bells and whistles and things like that. I don't know why they call it bells and whistles, because that's just, but anyway. but it has a lot of features on it. And most lights today have a lot of features, but this one is pretty basic. It's just gonna give you, I believe, from 6,500 to 2,700 Kelvin is what this light can do. So let's move on to my recommendations. Do I recommend this light? Of course I do. Zhiyun, I believe, is a good company. I'm not just saying that because they sent me these lights, but I'm saying that because of what you're seeing here. Again, this is the kit lens. The lights work. They're easy to set up. It doesn't take a lot, and you can get good results. And that's really the main thing. I think sometimes we get caught up in all the extra things and it's just pointless. Make content, people. Set up your lights, put some diffusion on them boys, turn the brightness or the color temperature to whatever your liking is, tweak your young settings. If you want to throw a LUT on it, throw the LUT on. But make something. Don't be in the comments just talking about a light and what it doesn't have and all of this and trying to make it perfect, because even if it's perfect, if your content is trash, ain't nobody gonna watch it. Trust me, I know. But let me know what y'all think about this light. Is this something that you would buy? Is it something that you're interested in? Let me know below. Until next time, I'll holler at y'all later. I'm out. Peace. I'm gonna have someone very important turn the light off in just a second. And I wanna see if you guys can hear the difference. So first I'm gonna just stop talking, and then once I point, the light's gonna go off. So let's listen. No.
Oh.
I said let's listen first for a second.
Oh.
And then when I point,
Oh, now we gotta wait.
I got to do it over again.